you know, go in like that. But let's get it. I'm not finna straight smoke on camera like that. But let's listen to this.
Have you guys heard of the term black fatigue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah.
So I just want everybody to know, like, the origin of black fatigue came from black people on black Twitter. Like, black fatigue was a black person's phrase, or was black people's phrase. I just want to let y'all know that. You can fact check that.
I say that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask that.
White people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody tripping on you. But these people in just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
Whenever we want to ask for equality and fairness, it's a problem. So white America.
So it spends several $1 trillion. When is it enough?
Where's the bird?
No.
Where's the bird? You're not stopping white America from doing anything.
You know what? The
they
bird
wanna
just
do.
burned down $4 billion worth of cities
the
and
bird ain't burned
60,000
down.
assaults.
No.
There's 3 times to 4 times as much homework than the black kid. And the white kid does 2 to 3. Why?
Because it's culturally, it's conditioned.
Exactly.
So why is it better parenting from Asians than white parents? Why?
You said what?
Well, we're just having real talk. Why do young black men fight in packs? So a couple of years ago, when I started Black and White on the gray issues, I sensed some growing discontent, or more of a racial divide in America than I'd experienced in my lifetime, and it seemed to be egged on by legacy media.
It's sad to see a lot of people going along with it.
The American people have felt safe in their home.
But people who had absolutely no chance of victory.
Hate and racism towards black and brown people.
And as that evolved, and for the first time I walked into Stevie J's barbershop, I really was looking to sit down and talk with, but mainly listen to real black Americans living the real American black experience, to see whether they shared the viewpoints of a lot of the public representatives, the now networkless Joy Reids of the world, or back then the Don Lemons, what they wanted me to believe.
I realized that CNN and MSNBC were full of shit.
And overall, it was a largely warm, productive conversation. I think served its purpose. You can go check out that video to see what it was like. Fast forward to now, and not only have things not really improved, and according to many Americans, they're markedly worse. And if listening is important, I noticed that a lot of white Americans felt pushed to a point that they weren't.
You see, he's bringing up the Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf situation, right? This is not a random attack that Carmelo did on a white person. This was a fight, right? No matter how you feel about the extent Carmelo went about it, it was a fight, and it's a self-defense claim. Now, the only argument was the extent he went to justify. I just want to get that. But you see how they're weaponizing these events.
Even fully comfortable expressing. But
Yeah.
for the most part, when they did, their communication was...
Yet always ignoring the instances when a white person mass unalives people, or a white girl unalives her black boyfriend and faces no charges, which has happened a couple times in the past 5 years.
pretty restrained. Then it was dialed up to near boiling point with the recent cold-blooded murder of Irina Zarutska.
The unthinkable happens. You see Brown pull out what officials say was a pocket knife. He unfolds it, then stands up behind Zarutska. What we aren't showing you is the moment where Brown then stabs Zarutska several times and walks away.
And that murder taking place at the hands of a black man who was arrested at least 14 times and released largely in the name of racial justice.
Wait, hold on. He said largely in the name of racial justice. Where's the evidence of that? I just want to know that.
But a reaction from white Americans that, frankly, is unsurprising. And truth be told, for young white Americans, is understandable. And it would be doing America no favors to complete.
That's not true. The media doesn't only pay attention when it's white on black crime. What are we talking about? Like, we've literally seen a ton of spotlight on black on white crimes, but we don't see. They don't sensationalize the white on minority crimes that we clearly see. Like we'll talk about these mass pew-pewers for like 2 days. Like there's been like 10 mass shootings, probably more, but 10 that I've read about since Charlie Kirk died. But they won't talk about it as much as they talk about this shit.
Completely ignore the discontent of young white Americans.
Right. So this is the FBI homicide table for 2019, right? And this is white on black crimes, or this is, the race of the offender, right? So black people kill white people 566 times, and white people kill black people 246 times. Okay, murder is never cool if it's not done in self-defense, right? Right, we unalived y'all, 300 more times than us, right? And then we got these unknown numbers over here. And that's cool, you know what I'm saying? That's not cool. I get that. These stats are wrong. I just looked this up. Well, this is the FBI. This is the FBI. So FBI doesn't even have all of every single police department's homicide or crime data. I just want to let y'all know that. But this is what we have, and this is what we can go off of. And these are just arrests, I'm pretty sure. All right.
Who, if you listen to them, definitely will make the case that they have been vilified and asked to foot the bill for original sin or crimes that they've never committed.
They owe each of us $300K. So I don't care how they get the money. That's not my problem. I just want my money. A debt is owed.
But I just want to know, like, what is the argument with this when black harms a white, not as much media coverage? Because what is that? Not as much media coverage? Why is that always a fucking argument? Why is media coverage always a fucking argument? Like, and it's not, because it's not true. And you can't really quantify that.
You owe a debt. You have to pay.
And if you marginalize that entire segment, that voice of the country, that will lead to quote-unquote radicalization. And if this country wants to avoid that, or at the very least, as we've done in the past, understand that there needs to be a major course correction in the...
You can't easily quantify if the media covers black on white or white on black murders. You can't. That's not something you can easily quantify.
Approach to communication. That needs to go both ways. And that's why this time, I didn't visit the barbershop merely to listen, but to communicate a very real set of grievances that could bubble into massive consequences. This one goes a little bit of a different direction compared to last time. This is Black and White on The Gray Issue.
I appreciate y'all chat, man. Tap the screen, man. I'm bringing y'all content live in the direct. Taking time out of my day.
Steven. I met Cedric. I think I scared him. I think he was.
Hey, and shout out to Jason.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Shout out to Jason in the comments, man. We don't look, Santos. Don't not too much on Jason. We don't want to call him racist, right? This is what they've been taught to believe. Just like on our side, a lot of things that we spit is what we've been taught to believe. Y'all tap the screen. We got 7 people in here.
Good to see you. I need it. You guys all have your beards nice and right. I've never learned how to do this shit.
It's because people come here.
Oh, I see what it is.
So he's came to this barbershop
lower.
He's already joking.
No, thanks. Well, they said you guys got some people coming in here after the last one.
Yeah, a couple people came
They just
through.
felt like, I think this is the place where white and black people have conversations.
So it was funny. The first person that came last time was he said this out of his own mouth. He was like, "I'm Indian," but he had on a MAGA hat.
Okay.
And he walked in and was like, hey, I saw you guys on Crowder. Can I get a cut here? Yeah, I guess so, man. Come on.
Did you have your hand on your piece? You're like, I don't know. If you come.
Nah, because he didn't come like that. He didn't have the backpack and the ski mask on. Yeah, he didn't have that on.
Yo.
Was he nice? Was he good?
It's cool.
Yeah.
You see that dude's shirt? It says Republicans.
Yeah, I'm very. Depends on how they present themselves. To me.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, okay. So what would present themselves in a way that would be like decent versus piece of shit?
Yeah. How some people carry that air of superiority.
Yeah.
And if you present that to me, I'm very conscious of that. If you present that to me, I'm gonna respond appropriately.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
What would be like an air of superiority, like?
Just like certain things you say in conversation, and
this guy, I like this dude, man. I like his energy, man. This dude on the left, this dude, I ain't gonna lie, he's standing on business. He ain't even getting a haircut. You just in a chair, bro. Like
you said, just in the physical nature of these chairs. Well, in conversation, you can physically go up and down and put yourself above or beneath. So when people do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually, when I do the change my minds and sit with people, I actually kind of slump my shoulders and deliberately kind of make myself smaller just to not, it's like, what is it, the crab that has the red under its claws is showing danger. So I don't wear red because apparently that signifies poison. But yeah, no, there's all these body language experts now. You watching TV and I'm like, this seems like horse shit. Like he looks to the left so you can tell he's lying.
Yeah, some of it is horse.
It's like, I saw him on camera. He killed his girlfriend with a butter dish. I don't give a shit what he says.
He took too long to say that answer. He had to think about it. No, he's thinking about what he wants to say.
Yeah.
He don't just spit shit out. He wants to think about what he's saying.
Last time we talked, we were kind of just, and the reason was just like, often you see in news, people just kind of siphon themselves off right into an echo chamber. And I thought it was good. We were just kind of able to see other perspectives. Where do you think the country is now? Like with that? Like,
is that an open question? Or?
Yeah, race relations between, because last time I wanted to get your perspective, and there's a perspective now in the white community. None of us are an ambassador for the entire community, but things have changed quite a bit the last year and a half. Temperatures have gone up. But what do you guys think? What do you think we are in the country?
I'd like to chime in on that.
Yeah.
I'm happy you asked that question.
Hey, Uncle ready to go in.
There are a lot of social and economic dynamics at play that have certainly gone, in my opinion, in the wrong direction. I don't think that people really understand the gravity of where we're headed. We are vastly sliding into an autocratic regime here. And absolutely, I'll give you several reasons. You see, in order to have, you can't have a one-dimensional approach when you're wanting to continue to lead from a global perspective, all right? What you see here today is an isolationism.
All right, guys, an autocratic government is when an individual or small group holds supreme and absolute power. That's kind of what I thought it was. I just like to get the real definition. I don't know every word, so I definitely be Googling shit.
Approach, which has never worked in the past because we don't have an understanding of geography and history, all right? And I'll just simply close by saying, you got to understand something. The rest of the world is grossly infuriated with the way America has taken shape. And not only that, we're ceding all our best opportunities to China, right? Look around you in the relationships they're fostering with everybody else, which includes Canada, Mexico, and they've even gone as far down into the Latin American corridor, fortifying their bases while we're still hollering that we're the greatest.
You talking about China, like in the Panama Canal?
Not just the Panama Canal. Let's pivot from the Panama Canal and let's look at the long-term strategy they have now, where they've just signed an agreement with Mexico to build another canal bypassing the Panama Canal. And when you look at the whole transatlantic corridor, where you've got now Brazil and Canada as well as Mexico trading, and they're stopping in Peru, where China has a huge presence at, circumventing completely the navigation and the use that comes with having to use the Panama Canal. So we'll avoid conflict with America and just simply go around America is what's happening here.
Talking about China?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I mean, I want to agree with the first part, autocratic. I think China needs to be dealt with, and this is the first time we are. I'm Canadian. Well, I was raised in Canada. Canada sucks. Canada is a dog shit country. Canada, the kind of shit we're doing it. You can't do this in Canada. If you say something too offensive or I say something too offensive, you will be jailed in Canada.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. So I'm fine with the U.S. being the best country. I came here from Canada because, I mean, I have friends who were arrested. I had a friend, stand-up comic, was fined for telling a joke. I don't think people realize how good we have it here in this country compared to other countries. But
that's the painstaking part about it all, is the fact that, you know, I've always been one to say, and I believe this firmly, freedom is not a right. It's a privilege until you wake up the next morning and find out you don't have it anymore.
Now, I just want to fact check something that Steven Crowder said. He said, I guess saying offensive things will get you jailed in Canada, or having conversations like this. But he said promoting extreme hatred can lead, on AR overview, it says promoting extreme hatred can lead to imprisonment. I don't think the law defines an identifiable group. Okay. Yeah. I think you have to be promoting extremist or hateful ideology to be jailed for stuff in Canada.
Yeah. It also comes with duties.
That's what I was about to say. It also comes with responsibilities, because while we free to speak and say what we want, and I went to Montreal a few months ago, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bet you saw a lot of tits on signs. That's all it is.
No, I didn't.
It's just strip clubs. Our Times Square is a giant strip club.
It was a couple of them.
Yeah.
But no, like there is responsibility, and like everybody's from different places, different backgrounds. Some of us from certain backgrounds know, like, running your mouth too much in a certain space can get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Like, you free to say what you want, you're just not free from the consequences. Like, the consequences that come with you saying the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And that's where we all have responsibilities in what we say and when we say it.
Yeah. The problem, though, too, and that's, I was kind of talking more domestically, the problem with that idea is a lot of people are offended by different things. Mm-hmm. And so people get their ass whooped for something they didn't say, right? That's the real thing. I don't know if you guys were following the stabbing there on that train in Charlotte, Irina Zarutska. Last time I was asking where you guys thought we were, you know, as far as in the country relation. Like, have you guys heard of the term black fatigue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask that.
It's a term that's being used by people in the white community, by and large, again, saying they feel like they've been victimized and they're tired of taking that shit. You know, that was a girl who was dying alone in public. And that was a guy who was let out 14 times. 14 times, including violent crimes, in the name of racial justice, right? He didn't have to post bail. He didn't have to appear back in court. This is not the first time he's assaulted someone.
How do we know that was in the interest of racial justice as opposed to just being a
because the judge said it.
A fucked up attempt at justice, period.
Yeah.
Like, the legal system has its flaws.
Yeah.
And people have been making complaints about that for decades, right? But that's just, to me, that's a mental health thing more than it's a black and white thing.
Well, I'll tell you why, because white people are saying it now.
Right.
Not just white people are saying, hey, we're in
city. That's what makes it a bigger thing.
Well, because, you know, white people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Where? Like, not in
the United States. I mean, we're not talking about Ghana.
And like.
Let's see. We're going to fact check this, right? This is the first thing that he said that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Is a white person 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person? I'm just going to look it up. Right. Let's see. Come on, AI overview. Goddamn. We're going to fact check this, man. We're not finna just take no word for it. Based on FBI crime data, a white person is not 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person. The majority homicides are intraracial. Right, so white offenders kill 78% of white victims. Black offenders kill 88% of black victims. The actual homicide rates are significantly lower. Whites kill. Okay. The source of this claim. The 12 times statistic likely stems from a different and frequently misinterpreted ratio, the difference in firearm homicide victimization rates. A December 2023 CBS Austin report correctly states that black people of all ages suffer firearm homicide rates at a rate that's 12 times higher per capita than that for white people. This refers to the risk of being a homicide victim. Okay. No, I get what you're saying. Okay. Of one group killing another. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I kind of knew that was false. All right, let's continue.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, in white communities or in quote unquote so-called white communities,
I wish these guys were armed with the knowledge to combat these things. I would call bullshit on a lot of the stuff he says.
Across the country, the rate is a black man or person, because most murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around. And then you look at the average amount of times that someone in this country is arrested before they're brought in for killing, charged with murder. Do you know how many times they're arrested on average before they murder? 11 times.
Once again, the justice system's got its flaws, and people have been complaining about that for years. We spend more time trying to fix that than trying to complain about the white versus black of it all.
Yo, hey, this guy, see the old school over there, you know, he can articulate himself pretty well. I don't know about bro. He seemed cool though, man. It's just the shirt he got on is kind of like, you know, I don't think he's ready for this conversation, man.
Well, I think, just like I was trying to listen to all communities last time, I think this is something that's unavoidable. If this community, if enough white people get pissed off, they're going, look, we're living in New York now, we're getting killed in record numbers, or Detroit, 12 times the rate. And our system, 3 strikes in California, right? That was a 3-strike policy. The reason that was changed, it said it was racist. Crime went down in black communities 30%. But now people are looking at their cities going, this is a fucking hellscape. And the murders skyrocketed because people said in the name of racial justice, like 3 felonies, you're out.
Because crime is crime, right? But crime is usually going to be higher concentrated in areas where there's high poverty. So typically the areas that's high poverty in this country are areas with people with this color skin. So that's why you're going to have that. That's why I said those numbers could be skewed and made to manipulate to look like, oh yeah, that's why I said in
not at 12 times the rate. Not at 12 times the rate.
In suburban neighborhoods, white people are not in danger, and that's what this kind of fear mongering tells them, that you're in danger because.
What is it? I don't understand how Steven Crowder's getting these numbers. If black people kill white people 566 times, and white people kill black people 270 times or something, how is that 12 times more likely? And then 78% of white on white murders is white people, or is, you know, obviously is interracial. Why? I don't understand how he's getting these numbers. I wish these guys like would have chat. I'm saying, Cheeto, like explain that to me. Like, how is 500? How is I do something 566 times, and then you do something 268 times. How am I doing that 12? How are you 12 times more likely for that to happen to you? For me to do that to you? Like that's fucking. I don't understand that, bro. And I'm not. You know, I don't claim to be a mathematics major, but like these are just. That's what they do, right? Like that was Charlie Kirk's whole fucking debating style. I'm gonna say this conflated ass ridiculous number. You don't know it, so you can't fact check me. Like I would have easily fact checked this dude.
Because you're 12 times more likely to get killed by a black person. You live in ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody tripping on you. But these people are just as scared as them other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
That man was mentally insane.
But why was he not
family members? He had his own family members call the hospital to try to get him.
This guy just said that woman was killed because that dude was black. He just said this, man. You can't make this shit up, bro.
Admitted. He told his sister he killed that woman because he thought she was trying to read his mind.
Yep. Why was he let out, though? And I'm not saying it's because he's black.
Yeah,
I'm saying people look at it, though.
You just said it.
Part of black fatigue.
He's insane, right? We agree.
That's not a black and white issue.
He was deemed not fit to stand trial, right?
Right.
Now,
he should have been institutionalized.
Right. The IOU policy, meaning you don't have to pay bail. You You don't even have to stay here until you're actually convicted. You just say you'll come back.
Right,
Which
is messed up.
Yeah, the judge, Teresa Stokes, black woman, said, well, this is about racial justice. We need to be softer on crime. So that's her reasoning. That's why he was out. And you can find dozens of examples.
That's her misguided reasoning.
And that's
It's insane, right? We agree.
That's not a black and white issue.
He was deemed not fit to stand trial, right?
Right.
Now,
should have been institutionalized.
Right. The IOU policy, meaning you don't have to pay bail. You don't even have to stay here until you're actually convicted. You just say you'll come back.
Right, which is messed up.
Yeah, the judge, Teresa Stokes, black woman.
Teresa Stokes. Policy on bail reform. Yeah, we gotta get to the bottom of this, bro, because this is a lot of info that they be pushing. I'm like, how do y'all know? Why are y'all saying this shit? Okay. So the judge questions her magistrate qualifications after the brutal stabbing of a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee while she sat on North Carolina caused political stir. Dr. Carlos Brown was a repeat offender. Okay, so this is the magistrate judge. Second chance services. Okay. Right now, Kirks also said Stokes never passed the bar exam. Better training of magistrates. The Department of Justice criminally federally charged him. That's wild. Magistrates are nominated to their position and do not need to hold a law degree or pass the bar exam to serve in the position. That is kind of crazy. Magistrates must be nominated by the clerk of Superior Court, appointed by the senior resident church, and supervised by the chief district. They must have at least 8 years experience as a clerk of a Superior Court, have a 4-year degree. Yeah, so there are qualifications to become a magistrate in North Carolina. You have to have a 4-year. Okay. So you don't have to pass the bar, but to be nominated, you must have at least 8 years of experience as a clerk of a Superior Court in a state or a county of the state, or a law enforcement officer, have a 4-year degree from an accredited institution of higher education, or a 2-year associate's degree, and 4 years of work experience in a related field, right? You don't just, they say, oh, you don't have to pass the bar. She had to pass the bar.
Said, well, this is about racial justice. We need to be softer on crime. So that's her reasoning. That's why he was out. And you can find dozens of examples.
That's her misguided reasoning.
And
I don't think
But that's systemic, though, right?
That's not representative of a whole.
It's not. It's
right?
not. No. And look, we always have to say not all.
Right.
Like, not all white people wear MAGA hats and are dumbass pieces of racist shit. But we have all been accused of racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia. What I'm saying is black fatigue is white people going, you know what? I know I'm not racist. And I know that we're dealing with record crime, and I know that I'm more at risk. And they have negative interactions, and they're constantly told that they're not allowed to voice their fucking opinion because they're white. And if those people get pissed off, like that's where we actually could end up with some kind of, I'm telling you, I see this brewing. I see people who were milquetoast white suburban who are becoming actually racist. Now, not all of them, but I've seen people actually become racist because they get mugged, their store gets looted, and nothing gets done. They're going, and if I say something, it's turned into a racing. I'm telling you what, that's where it's coming from. At what point do we have a talk and go like, okay, let's reform justice, but we have to be honest as to why it was reformed in the first place. This guy, it's not even the only one. It's every 3 days someone's being offed.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's transfer that over to, you know, I mean, there's a lot of unsafe things in this world. Like getting mugged by a black person is not the paramount unsafe thing. There's school shootings, there's road rage, there's all of that shit.
Yep.
And the primary people that commit a lot of those are people who don't have this skin.
No.
So if switch it over, if black people say, well, we getting fed up and we tired of all these school shootings and all of these road rage and all that, who do we say something to? Who hears our voice?
And when does the white fatigue kick in?
And when does the white fatigue kick in?
Well, we've been hearing about white, that's the point, right? We've been hearing about it all our lives, about white fatigue, about systemic discrimination.
I don't understand, though. So, like, okay, so I'm going to just go to this, right? So, Irana, whatever her name is, her killer, he was arrested for misuse of the 911 system, which I'm pretty sure is a misdemeanor, and was released after signing a written promise to appear at his next court hearing, right? All the felonies that he got charged for, that's their fault. That's the judge's fault over not locking him up. If she released him for a misdemeanor for, misusing the 911 system. I mean, that's fair. I can see that. It's not like she released him for a felony. I think they're misusing this. I think they're finger pointing.
I'm Canadian, right?
Done. That's the problem.
It has been done. That's why we've done systemic justice reform that has led to more crime, right? That's the reason for no three-strike policy. That's the reason for cashless bail. That's the reason for catch and release. The reason for it, in the wake of Black Lives Matter, George Floyd riots, Summer of Love, was we're going to reform crime, we're going to reform the justice system, and it's gotten worse everywhere it's been. And then when white people leave those neighborhoods, well, now it's white flight. If they come in, it's gentrification. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who are pissed off, and they're not going to sit down and have this conversation and be real about it. And they're going, well, what happens when someone has to keep their mouth shut about everything?
Nobody tell you have to keep
That's how they feel.
Yeah.
That's how they feel. I don't believe white people have to keep their mouth shut. I think white people don't speak up about a lot of the things that they do and they perpetuate that affects us negatively. That's the stuff that nobody wants to. That the issues aren't made about those things. I really respect the platform that you have because you do have open and honest conversations. And I have to say, I don't believe that those numbers about the black people murdering white people are correct. I don't believe those numbers are correct.
What if they are? What if I'm not lying to you?
If you're not, then I've been misled and I've been isolated from realistic numbers. But I know in this country, from the time that we got here and until now, there's never been hordes of black people that just go out and maraud and menace white people. Interactions happen and things do occur. I'm not saying that they don't, but not by and large in number. We can't be this small a percentage of the overall population and still have the numbers that people try to perpetuate onto us. See, black people do more harm to other black people than we do to other white people.
Well, that's true. That's true. Because people who are close. That's true.
We also have historical evidence of groups of white people attacking and chasing black people.
So it's
coming after.
So when people say
it's not happening now.
So I'm just saying,
and that's the point. Is we're at a precipice right now.
That's a part of the historical condition.
Well, sure, but someone today.
Hold on. I wasn't finished making my point. I wasn't finished making my point. When like I said, black fatigue, that's the newest mantra that's been put out into society to make people think that, okay, they tired of black people. They tired of what you said, that we can't say anything about black people. We can't do. Well, when you hold all the power, when you hold all the economic rights, when you hold all the things that make this country move, when you're in charge of those things, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? I put it like this. White people got the firecrackers, we got the stem. That's it.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, Bap. I was just saying at the beginning of the video, like black fatigue. Like I'm pretty sure that was a book written by a black woman, and it was a term I remember being said on black Twitter and originating from black people. Like only when I got to TikTok and they started having these racial debates did I see people using the term black fatigue as a thing. People as white people saying, "Oh, we're tired of black people's actions."
Y'all got the power. The power is placed outside of the black community. We're charged with all the negative things. Those are the things that are really generally coincide with how people relate to us. The bad stuff that's go wrong with this world is the black people's fault. We the smallest part of this country. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? Beside the immigrants that come here, we have.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm probably ain't finna watch the rest of this because this is like the equivalent of like Charlie going to those college debates. He's like, Steven Crowder is a smart, educated guy, and I'm pretty sure these guys are educated too. I'm pretty sure they're successful. Bro has a chain on. He obviously has money, right? But these guys were not ready for a debate. This was like, this is too easy. He's well researched on these topics, and nobody's debating him with facts. They don't even know. They can't articulate what they're trying to say. And this is another example of, I think, white people going into black spaces and interviewing them about racial topics or sensitive topics, and trying to say that they have no knowledge on them. And I think that they argue in bad faith. The fact that he got 1 million views on his video, I think they're all from his from the same audience of white people who are just trying to look at this type of shit and say, see, Steven Crowder went into a black barbershop and interviewed black people, and if he fucking cooked all of them, and it's like, bro, obviously, like, this is not the environment to go. Like, why didn't he go to a black college? Like, why didn't he go debate somebody or talk to somebody on a debate team or something at a college that will be well versed on this, or at least know how to articulate their points? I don't think I can watch 30 more minutes of this. I'm gonna end this. I'm probably gonna restart here in a second. This is crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping though.